It is an honor and a privilege to be here this afternoon to pay tribute to a great friend of Caddie's and a great man in Dennis Cohn. In addition, to pay special honor to an important organization that Dennis and Laura Cohn founded, the Caddie Hall of Fame. And it's only fitting that the 2011, the first inductee for 2011, is none other than Dennis Cohn.
In 1992, the PGA Tour professional Donnie Hammond and Dennis started the Evergreen Youth Foundation, doing business as the PCA Worldwide Foundation. The PCA is an association open to all caddies, working or retired, dedicated to elevating respect for the professional caddy and paying homage to those who filled a special role in the history of the game of golf. The organization and its foundation works to provide the youth of the world the opportunity to learn both life and social skills through the game of golf, while enhancing their knowledge and interpersonal skills both on and off the golf course. The mission of the PCA is to provide its members, caddies, and their families and others with additional income opportunities, high-quality benefits, services, and certification through educational and communication programs worldwide. In addition, it's to bring back caddies to preserve the tradition of the game of golf. It is the mission of the PCA and the tireless work of Dennis Cohn that has helped us cross paths 3 years ago and become such good friends. I'd like to read a couple of excerpts from letters from Dennis's biggest fans. From J. Andrew Pasder from the PGA Tour. I can attest to the fact that Dennis has spent countless hours, days, weeks, months, and years working tirelessly on behalf of caddies around the world. His mission to improve the lives of caddies and preserve the century-old profession of caddying has been admirable. It is for these reasons that I endorse Dennis Cohn for the Caddie Hall of Fame. In addition to Mr. Pasner, Steve Mona from the World Golf Foundation writes, Dennis has been a tireless advocate for both the caddy profession as well as the development of caddy programs at clubs and courses worldwide. I know that Dennis and his wife Laura have self-funded part of the creation and ongoing operation of the Professional Caddy Association and PCA Foundation. Dennis has also traveled the world, often on his own expense, to help train caddies or otherwise advocate on behalf of the caddy profession. I don't know of anyone who has been more dedicated to the caddy profession than Dennis these past 17 years. It is for these reasons, among others, that I wholeheartedly endorse Dennis's candidacy for the induction into the Caddie Hall of Fame.
But everything I own, everything that I'm about, everything that I have accomplished in life came to me because I was a caddy as a boy. That caddy program that we had at Ravislow literally turned my life around. I had 8 brothers and sisters. We lived in a shack. 5 of us slept in one bed. We had no bathtub and no shower and no hot water. It was a rat-infested, roach-infested shack. I had holes in my shoes as big around as your coffee cup my entire childhood. I shined shoes in taverns from the time I was 6 till I was 12. I set pins in bowling alleys in the wintertime, and I caddied in the summertime, and I sold newspapers. All of this was to feed my brothers and sisters. My father was alcoholic. My mother drank a lot in those days as well. I grew up in an environment where there were taverns. There was 36 taverns in Harvey, Illinois, and maybe as many steel mills. The men and women in that community, they worked in the steel mills, but they hung out in the taverns at nights and at weekends. I always thought a success was a tavern owner or a bartender, because that's where my father spent all of his money. I never dreamed outside of my environment. I always thought that maybe one day I might grow up to own a tavern, or maybe even be a bartender if I couldn't own a tavern. I couldn't see outside my environment. I understood years later how the young kid in the ghetto says he wants to grow up to become a pimp or a drug pusher, because he's never seen a successful man other than the pimp or the drug pusher. So at 11 years old, when I hitchhiked out to Ravislow Country Club, because some friends of mine said that might be another way that you could make some money to help feed my brothers and sisters, I went out to Ravislow Country Club, and all of a sudden I was in a world that I had never dreamed that I could be in. This environment with the trees and the green grass, and also, more important, was a caddy master named Pete Boudris, who was a tough taskmaster. I spent 4 years in the military, and I served 9 months in a Marine Corps unit called NEGDF. And our drill instructor wasn't as tough as my caddy master when I went to Ravislow. He had all these tough kids from Bumtown, from Rosen, from Harvey, from South Holland, and tough kids that wanted to fight every 5 minutes. He organized them, and he started teaching us how to respect one another. There was a discipline that we had never, most of us had never experienced before. Years later, it dawned on me that discipline is love as well. But all of a sudden, I found myself in this environment where I was caddying. If you had an argument with another caddy, and Pete said, "Oh, you want to fight? Fine." He got all the caddies out in front of the caddy shed, and he brought out the boxing gloves, and he made us all stand in a circle, and we watched, and we had to fight the other kid. Afterward, he'd have us play basketball against one another. He'd have us play softball. He taught us to compete against one another so we'd respect one another. Those friendships that I got in that childhood are still with me today. But the most important thing is that all of a sudden I was caddying for doctors and lawyers and Mr. Florsheim and Mr. Mailing, very, very successful businessmen, prominent businessmen in the city of Chicago. And they didn't treat me like a servant. They treated me like a son. Every caddy got fed every day, whether we caddied or not. They made sure that each caddy was fed. They had a caddy program that you worked on points. If you did something wrong, you had points taken off. When you did well, you were graded by excellent, good, fair, or poor. And you received points for the times you caddied and the grades you received. At the end of the year, 150 caddies went to the banquet. The top 12 caddies got to bring their mothers, and the mothers all received a gold watch. Number 1 caddy would receive a set of woods and irons and real good gifts, and 2 caddies a year went to college on the Evans Scholarship. By the time I was 15, 16 years old, I started thinking maybe I could be more than just a bartender. Maybe, just maybe. I realize now, in looking back over my life, that those changes came about in that environment. How important is the caddy program? It is the most important thing in my life. And everywhere I go, I can't say enough about it. When Dennis called me and asked me would I be interested in being inducted into the Caddie Hall of Fame, how could you possibly say no? To think that maybe one day this kid that carried 2 bags a day with holes in his shoes would be in a Caddie Hall of Fame. I mean, in fact, the guys I caddied with will probably say, "Dreesen, that's the biggest joke that you've ever told in your life, you know." But it happened, and I'm honored, and I'm honored to be in the Caddie Hall of Fame. I will, if they give me a hat to wear or a shirt to wear, I'll wear it with such pride, because I know the value of the caddy program, and I know I know how it can develop the young minds of America. I wish every young kid in every ghetto in America, in the world, would have the opportunity to caddy at such a place that I caddied at and learn the lessons that I learned. Anyhow, thank you very much. Now, I'd like to read this one letter. This is for Dennis Cohen. This is Bob Ford, might be one of the most prominent men in the game of golf, and everybody who's played golf or been involved in golf knows who Bob Ford is. But this is a letter he sent to Dennis Cohen. Dear Dennis, my heartfelt congratulations to you and Laura for your upcoming induction into the Caddies Hall of Fame. What you have accomplished with this association is what's great about America. It proves that heart, a great idea, hard work, and persistence pays off. This relationship you have forged with the Western Golf Association is terrific and will continue to benefit caddies for years to come. You and Laura will be forever remembered for your determination and commitment to our game and our caddy programs across the country. I'm sorry I can't be there for your induction this week, but please know how proud of you both I am, and on behalf of the caddies across our great nation, thank you and congratulations. Bob Ford, PGA of America Professional. Dennis Cohn. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And the saying is true, behind every great man, there's a woman. I had to get that out there for all the women in the world who stand behind all the men. It takes teamwork. And in 1997, I met Dennis Cohn, and all of a sudden we became a team. And it wasn't because we were in love or we just liked each other's eyes. It was because we had a passion. I saw in the paper that there was a Caddy Association moving to Hilton Head, South Carolina. And at that time, I said, well, you know, I was a financial consultant working on Wall Street. I know something about insurance and financial planning and benefits, so I think I'll give him a call. About 2 hours later, all of a sudden he walks through the door, bigger than life, and he says, oh, hi, my name is Dennis. And have you seen another guy that looks kind of like me? I said, no, I haven't. He goes, well, this is me, the Caddie Hall of Fame. And I said, I was getting in touch with you today. And the rest is history. We have worked, he has worked, okay? He has worked, and I have stood beside him for the past 15 years for the Caddy. Day in and day out. 365, 24/7. I don't think a day goes by it doesn't mention the PCA and the Caddies, okay? He's sacrificed a lot in his life to be where he is today, and there's no greater person that deserves this more than Dennis Cohn.
I'm very humbled by accepting this because it gives me an opportunity and some credentials besides just recently being on the nomination and on the committee for the Golf 2020 Environmental Committee. I'm planning on traveling the world and setting up caddy schools all over the country. So this is going to help. I see this as an opportunity to maybe open a few doors in some of those countries and get some of these kids out there that maybe can get some education in different countries. So we have a global vision about this. And thank you, WGA, for stepping up and taking some of that global vision. We appreciate it very much. But so on a personal note, and I got to say this because Tom shared it, and I was debating whether to do this or not, but one of my main driving forces for doing this and doing it and loving what I do and everything, and it certainly hadn't been about the money. It's been about really trying to make you proud. Everybody out there that hears this, sees this, what we do, I want to make you proud. I want to make the media proud. I want to make the PGA Tour proud. I want to make WGA proud, to make you proud of what we do and helping bring back the tradition of the game. All that really comes from a hole in my heart, Tom, that I haven't shared with you, but my dad, I didn't have the love growing up. My dad was an alcoholic, abusive man, and I lived away from home literally since I was in about 7th grade. And so all that created a lot of, I felt at the time, a lot of loss. But now I see that as a lot of positive because I went to Dove Street Golf Course, and I hung out at Dove Street Golf Course every day that I could. I pulled weeds. I pitched pennies against the wall. I'm sure a few of y'all may have done that before. And it's not gambling, though. But anyway, but it was a way for me to, be a part of a family that I didn't have. And you know what? It all came back down to hearing those words and feeling the love of, you did good, son. And that's what I would hear from the golf course. And I would take it home, and I didn't get that. So I think the golf course, the people at the golf course, what the game teaches, the honesty, integrity, and self-discipline in this sport is no doubt the greatest sport alive. And probably 550 years or whatever it is, a lot of people don't realize, but in 1860 there was 8 guys. They said, bring your best players to start this belt we're going to play for at Prestwick Golf Course in Scotland. Well, those 8 people that came were 8 caddies. That's what started the Open Championship. Somebody, maybe Tiger maybe not know that story himself, and Willie Parks won that first year, and old Tom Morris came in second. He eventually went on to win a lot more. But back then, the caddies were they were the ball makers. They were the instructors and everything else. They were everything. And so we are very honored to share with the world that we've actually created a book that came out that Arnold Palmer did recently with us and Ben Crishaw. It's about training your inner caddy. I call it a nudge from God, which y'all can call it what you want, but you know when you're out there by yourself, you're trying to figure out what to hit and where to hit it at. So everybody needs to get in touch with their inner caddy and what drives them inside. And these caddy programs teach you to get in touch with your inner caddy. And we thank God that there's organizations like this that are keeping it going, and there's people like you, men and women out there that are also supporting this. So I ask every company, every person in the world to please support caddy programs at any level. Thank you very much. I'd like to give this to my wife, and for her induction, that she got her certificate, did not get it the last time.
Dennis, I'd like to, on behalf of the WGA, present this plaque. It says the Western Golf Association and Evans Scholars Foundation present this certificate of recognition to Dennis Cohn, Professional Caddies Association, the Caddie Hall of Fame, in honor and appreciation of your tireless efforts in the promotion and support of caddies. September 12, 2011.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dennis, congratulations. We can't think of anyone more deserving of this award than you, Dennis Cohn, for the incredible work you've done for the caddy and for the game of golf. Congratulations. 2011 Caddie Hall of Fame, Dennis Cohn. In addition, the Western Golf Association looks forward to carrying this important organization that you and Laura started. We are going to take it forward and work closely with you as we acquire, as we work with you, as we transition the Caddie Hall of Fame with the Western Golf Association. It'll be an honor and a privilege to continue the Caddie Hall of Fame as part of the Western Golf Association. Again, Dennis, Laura, thank you for the great work you've done, and congratulations.